Hello again, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into episode 30 with Flynn Disney and Callum Powell. I'm smiling just thinking about it. It was such an awesome experience. So happy to have it recorded, and it seems like you guys really enjoyed it. Thank you for all the feedback, the comments, the messages. It means a lot, and it's really motivated me to keep pushing forward with this podcast, keep bringing you exciting guests, the big names, small names, hidden gems. That's what I endeavour to provide to you guys. This podcast is free, but you might have noticed in the last one I put a link to a Buy Me a Coffee website. Essentially, it's like a small donation website. I work really hard on these podcasts and they aren't monetized. So if you're getting value from these, if you're enjoying it, if you want to energize me, motivate me to keep pumping out this content, then I'd really appreciate any small donations. Anything would be hugely appreciated. It would really help me. So that's something I wanted to talk about first. Also, on the note of podcasts, Flynn Disney released his first episode of The Bridge, and he only went and bagged one of the most prolific practitioners of our time, Danny Ilabaka. Go and listen to that conversation. It's on Spotify as well. A lot of insight in there, a lot of intrigue, something that I need to listen back to. I think it's definitely one of those. Thank you, Flynn, for making that one and providing us with some Danny content. I'm sure we're all very thirsty for Danny content in whatever form it is. Louise, as well, is going strong with swapping shoes. I really enjoyed some of his recent conversations, and the one with Malik Juf, one of the Yamakasi founders. Well done, Louise, on getting him on and having that conversation. That was great to hear. So there's good stuff happening. There's great stuff happening. We're connecting these conversations. We're listening to each other. We're diving into different topics, and it's all part of this amazing culture of parkour and movement. So yeah, go and check those things out. You're probably wondering why in the background you're hearing some slight static, and that is because it is absolutely chucking it down. It's a very, very rainy day in England today, so that's probably what you're hearing in the background. But also some raw scuffles, and that is from this week's Coppack Classic. Every time I make these episodes, I showcase a classic parkour video, and this one was from 2014, and it's Ben Tiley and his raw trainings. Yeah. The video is based in Bristol, and the reason I think it's a classic is because at the time there weren't many raw videos. A lot of videos had accompanying music, and this one, there just doesn't need to be. Ben moves incredibly effortlessly, very casually, very fluidly, and makes everything look so easy. I think this is a great point, that in parkour we want to make hard things easy or look easy. This week's podcast is not from... fuck's sake. Today we've got two guests again, from Hive Movement this time. We've got Cal and Connor, who are based in Worcester, which isn't a million miles away from Bristol. And I know that they've been training in Bristol over the last year, especially in lockdown. This was a really nice, easygoing conversation, really relaxed, really chill. We touched on a few different topics, what it's like being tall in parkour. We talked about pretty parkour and how content is displayed. Should we be showing off our very best stuff? Does that help people get into parkour, or does that actually dissuade people from getting into parkour? Really easygoing conversation. I really enjoyed this one. So keep it locked. Grab a drink for episode 31 with Hive Movement. Okay. Damn, we're back. Off the back of episode 30, which was with Callum Powell and Flynn Disney. 3 hours long. It was an epic, and I'm still kind of recovering from that because I only uploaded that yesterday. So I'm not too prepared today, but my goal this year was to try and get 4 podcasts out a month. So I wanted to, and I talked to you boys earlier last month, I think, and said I want to get you on. So I'm sticking to my promise. I've got loads of pizza here with me. Not very well prepared, but maybe that's a good thing. So welcome, boys. How are you today? How's things?
Yeah, man, all good, I think. We've just had some pizza too, so...
We've loaded up for the podcast.
Yeah, man.
Excellent.
Carb loaded, ready.
Excellent. And so, for people listening, who are you? What are you about? You are Hive, right?
Yeah, man. Hive movement.
Yeah, we've sort of been...
How did that name come about? Sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
Oh, that's right. So there's actually me and my friend went to the pub one night, and I was speaking to him saying like, oh, me and some of my other mates are thinking of starting like a parkour group, but we've been struggling for like
ages,
like
name,
6 months trying to think of a name for it because we just couldn't find anything that was right.
Yeah.
And he just threw a load of things at me, and on the list I had at the end, Hive was one of the things written down, and
it stuck, didn't it?
It
really
stuck, yeah. It's also a building in Worcester, so like there's this big gold library in the middle of town, which is called the Hive, and we train there quite often, so it sort of just fitted well.
Like it.
It's not the best spot in the world, but it does the job. Like,
Yeah, it's good fun.
it's good fun.
So are you all based in Worcester?
There or thereabouts. So I'm like Droitwich, which is like a small town outside of Worcester.
Yeah.
And then you've just moved to Worcester, haven't you?
We've got one, Joe, he's actually up in, he's in Cheltenham at the moment at uni, and then
Solihull, innit?
Solihull, yeah, so he's sort of more Birmingham way, but all from the West Midlands sort of area.
Yeah, I have connections and history with Solihull.
I
won't go into too much. That's a little bit on the personal side, but I know the place.
Man.
I know the place. Yeah, it's quite. Well, you could say it's pretty posh, couldn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just a little
Solihull
bit.
is,
Just
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. But yeah, interesting. I remember at uni, I had a friend called James. Shout out to James Barrett if he's listening. He probably won't be, but you know if he is. And he always talked about the Malvern Hills.
Oh, that's
yeah,
literally where I lived until like a few months ago.
Nice. So tell me about the Malvern Hills, because it sounds like it's a great name. Tell me about it.
It's a pretty great place, to be honest. It's just
some
like,
big hills, innit?
some huge hills in the middle of like quite a flat area, so they just look ridiculous. Like from everywhere in Malvern, all you can see is these like huge
Big mounds
hills
of
just
dirt.
looming above the town. But the spots that are in Malvern look so sort of beautiful and picturesque.
Yeah, cinematic, innit?
Yeah,
It's just so nice.
They look really nice. It's a lovely place.
It's only a couple of feet off being a mountain.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
nearly
Oh, really?
a mountain. Yeah. It's like they're nearly a mountain. It's very upsetting. Why couldn't we have a mountain range on our
The
doorstep?
Malvern Mountains rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
Quite nicely.
Couldn't someone just add like an artificial pile just to like
Yeah,
tip
yeah.
it over?
I reckon just stand Callum the tallest point here, and he's 6'4". He'll be the tallest point. He'll be a mountain.
Really, you're 6'4"?
Yeah, is it 6'4"? You're 6'4", aren't you?
6'3" or 4", yeah.
6'3"
there
or
or
4",
thereabouts.
We'll say 6'4". We'll say 6'4".
Yeah, 6'4".
How does your height come into play with your training? Because I'm 6'2", so I'm another long boy.
Another long way, yeah. So Connor's 6'1"
6'1"
as well. So yeah, we're. I'd say it does definitely. It definitely helps with a lot of challenges. But the bad thing about it is, it makes a lot of your clips look whack, because it's like you're covering the whole gap and it looks pathetic. And it's like it's not that pathetic.
Yeah. Does make everything look a lot smaller than it is.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you get people like George McGowan, and I think he's like, I can't remember, but he's quite short. I think he's like 5'4", I want to say.
Yeah.
And like, it'd be so interesting to see one of us guys go and try a line that he's tried in the same spot and just see what the difference is. Because like, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Aesthetically, people of kind of average height, they tend to look really good, and so like.
Yeah.
All my long boys, I've got respect for you, because
a lot of respect.
It's hard to look pretty, you know. It's hard to look pretty.
like limbs dangling
Yeah,
everywhere.
just like one of those inflatable car park things. Like,
yeah, fully.
Yeah, man. Have you found, has it changed any of your like acro ambitions?
So sort of flipping and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't flip for years, man.
No.
I despised it just because I couldn't really do it. You know what I mean? I was a bit bitter.
Been training for like 12 years.
Yeah.
And sort of flipped for the last 2.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. You argue that like you can use it as an excuse, maybe, but you probably can't even use it as an excuse.
Well, look at like Alfred Scott.
Yeah,
man.
Alfred Scott.
He's an anomaly, though. To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's quite something. I wonder how tall he actually is, because I'd say he must be 6 foot.
Must be like 6'2", I think, or something like that.
And
surely.
look at Tim Champion.
Tim Champion.
Yeah, Tim.
Yeah, absolute beast of a man.
So if you're listening and you're a young long boy, and you think, oh no, I can't get anywhere because I'm too long, then you'll be fine, because there's plenty of beasts out there. I guess it's just figuring out what works to your advantage, and
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
you know, I think
Tailoring your movement.
Yeah, I think you can always. I don't know, actually. Would you say that you can? Any body type you can refine your movement.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I reckon so. Like, except
Look at little Parkour Hulk on Instagram. That's
Yeah.
one extreme.
Big
And then you've got like some other guy. There's a guy, I can't remember his Instagram, but he's of a larger stature and he moves just like anyone else as well. So I think you can literally tailor it completely.
I think the only limiting factor would be if you were so big you couldn't actually walk.
Physically move.
Yeah.
Because I think, are you on about? I think I can't remember his name. It's like Court Savage. That guy.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, he's so sick. He's so good.
Yeah. So like, I think like it doesn't really matter. I think people will always try and find it as an excuse, but if you're motivated, you can just do anything, can't you? Really, with whatever you've been given.
Do what works for you.
Yeah, man. And it's like if you are a little bit larger, just look after your joints a bit more.
Yeah.
Well,
you know?
yeah.
Like take a bit more time and effort for them.
I mean, I guess the strength potential is so high as well when you got like different body types. You know, like.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, it's interesting in classes because I find it's a really common. What the hell was that? I find it's a really common thing that kids go to. When they can't do something, they'll automatically say their height.
I'm too small. Yeah.
Too small.
To be fair, we get that at like jams quite often. Like we'll be doing a challenge and then we'll get it, and then people always be like, "Oh yeah, you got that because you're tall."
Yeah.
It's like, bruh, I got it, and I may be tall, but I still got it.
And do you guys? Oh, go on. Sorry, Karen.
I was going to say, I guess there is like advantages and disadvantages. Like obviously, being taller, you're going to be able to reach a taller wall run. Like no matter how strong you get, realistically, like someone who's 6'7" is still going to be able to reach the wall higher than you. You know. So I don't know. I think there is times that it can be a disadvantage, but then I guess you just got to figure out your way around that situation.
Got to figure out your clothing as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. Do you guys are you guys teaching at the moment? Do you teach any classes or anything? Or?
Oh mate, yeah, we used to. We used to teach for a company. I'm not sure. We can say Wire Parkour, can't we?
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
Yeah, we used to coach for a company called Wire Parkour, and we basically were doing quite well, but then lockdown happened, and
right.
sort of lost sort of all income source really.
We'd just opened a gym as well in Worcester, which was sick. Like we've been working for 3 years towards getting this gym, and then literally opened it, and then within 2 months was it?
Yeah, we got the keys in like January,
and then
March,
and then
like lockdown.
As soon as it started, like the landlords refused to freeze the rent and stuff like that, so it's just no way we could actually hold on to that because we just had no income coming into it.
Yeah,
which was sad, and we've not really gone back to any coaching since then.
Not really.
Not yet.
It's still all a bit touch and go, I guess, with setting stuff up and like the business we had here anyway was like it's quite a niche market in Worcester. Worcester's very much a city or /town. which is more like
It's very closed-minded.
yeah, very closed-minded. They're really not
Really?
asked. Yeah, like
Yeah.
people around here aren't very open to new things. Like I've been training here for about 12 years, and like in that time, there's probably only been 10 people join,
Yeah, yeah.
and maybe even like only 5 that have stuck it through for like longer than a week.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
it's been really hard for like growing a community here, really.
That's
It's
tough.
getting there slowly, though.
Yeah, it's getting there
We've-
slowly.
We've got some sort of like youths that are training
Yeah.
in this area now.
Yeah, we
which is
have,
cool.
man.
And so what do you think has helped those people get into it? Why do you think now, basically what I'm asking is, how do you build a community?
I guess just like when I first got back into parkour, I just basically started like an Instagram page called Worcester Parkour,
Nice.
and like I'd try and just keep that going as much as I could, so that if anyone just typed in Worcester and parkour, like how I used to back in the day on the old like
Yeah.
forums and stuff like that, it was like you'd type in like parkour here and you'd get somewhere,
Yeah.
someone would pop up with some like information about
You
something.
had a Facebook page as well, and that's who the person we were working with at our
Contacted
old
us.
company. That's what he contacted us through. Like he found Worcester Parkour and then contact.
Yeah.
Contact.
So yeah, I was
Yeah.
just trying to get out there as much as I could, and like really being like positive to like people in the environment. So like say you have like an interaction with a passerby, it's like leaving them with a positive image of you, so that if say like their child does want to get into parkour in the future, it's not perceived as like, oh well, I don't want you being a rebel on the streets. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, I met a lovely person who was doing that. Like,
Mm.
yeah, you should definitely go and try and find these people, and you know, try and install some sort of good moral compass into people with you know, positive interactions, I guess.
For sure, man. I think it does make a difference, and I think it's hard, isn't it? Like trying to get past that tipping point. Like once you got a few people amassed and they're actually passionate and training regularly,
Yeah.
things
yeah.
start to spiral upwards for you. Like in York, for
Yeah.
example, where I'm at the moment, you know, I'll be honest. I've basically it sounds a bit odd, but like I've basically held the scene up for like 4 years by myself because we had a group of us called the York Gents, York Gentlemen.
Yeah,
We go like way back. Like we've been training for ages, and they're still really, really good mates of mine. But what was quite difficult is that around like uni time, everyone kind of split off and went into different areas. Some people went abroad and stuff like that. So when I came back to York after uni, it was basically like no one. And then a guy called Dean Stimpson, shout out to him, my
I know
absolute
Dean.
boyo. Yeah. He came down from Newcastle and just basically helped me maintain something.
yeah.
And now we're at this really nice point where we've got a few of us, and I think actually COVID has had a bit of an impact on our thinking. Like, you know, we want to be. I'm going on a few tangents here, but basically, our perspective was that we should save clips, make really nice edits, and have like very pristine content.
Yeah.
And I think that because it's like art, you know, like it's something special to us, something meaningful to us.
100%. Yeah.
But at the same time, now we've kind of gone the other way a bit, and now we're just like realised if we want more people to come, they need to know what's going on. They can't just see one piece of content every year, like once a year. It's just not going to work.
Fully.
So we're just on this like mad content train, just putting out loads of stuff at the moment, and just seeing what happens. Because you know, it's fuck it. Like we've got nice content, and it's not all perfect. It's not all like our absolute best stuff. But you know, if it means that one person messages us and says like, "Oh, you guys training in York? Like, do you want, like I want to come? Those spots look sick. Like, I want to come through." Then that's you know, mission complete. You know, and so
100%. I think it's with like posts on Instagram and stuff like that. I think as long as you show you're having fun, then people will have fun watching that. So like, even if it is just you messing about, not doing like the craziest stuff, I think the joy always shines through on clips. It makes people want to get a piece of that almost.
If you make it too movement focused as well, people unsure of that starting parkour, I guess, are more put off as well, because it's like, you know, if you're seeing the top quality content all the time, it sort of leaves them feeling like, well, I'm not this good, I could never get this good, even though they definitely could get this good.
Yeah, it sort of seems unattainable.
Yeah, so by showing like even just the warm-up section, for example, like, you know, like Dom Smarter in his vlogs, he shows his warm-ups, like that's really important, because it subconsciously as well installs good discipline into a younger audience. Like they're looking at their idol and they're like, he's doing a warm-up in his video, I should do a warm-up before I train. You know, it's little things like that shows to everyone that it's achievable and attainable.
Absolutely. I mean, hang on a minute. Speaking of Dom.
Yeah.
Couldn't not talk about this.
Jeez, crazy, absolutely.
It has been a long time coming, to be fair. Like,
he said about it
He said about it a long time ago. But then, he must have touched down in London in like the...
Must have been
either
under 24 hours
today,
or 12 hours in the UK.
Like he's gone there on a mission, man. He's touched down and he knew exactly what he wanted to do.
I really hope he's going home tomorrow just to put the swag on it. It's like he was here for less than 24 hours and he just goes home, comes and stomps all over Imax.
Wow.
They can knock it down now, I guess.
Yeah. it's finished.
It's completed, mate.
He did it as well, and it was probably cleaner than most people have done that concrete. It was literally perfect. It was so nice.
I mean, I think what we'll see in the next few days, so we're speaking now on the 30th of people listening, so they'll probably they're in the future now, people listening.
Yeah.
So there'll probably be, I reckon, because I think I saw Benj in the background filming.
Yeah.
So I reckon on Monday that'll be the big thing, and then I saw Nightscape and
man.
So, and obviously Dom will make his own. But what I'm really interested in is actually, I want to see how he preps and stuff, because I reckon my prediction is he did the Kong front a few times over the classic smaller gap.
Yeah, which is still so fucked.
Yeah, and I reckon he kind of got a feel for it like that. But yeah, you're right. He hits it so nice. It's so good.
Oh, it is beautiful.
I'm so happy for him because
how does that happen?
Yeah,
that is so insane, isn't it? Like
how many years have people kind of been saying behind his back, well, yeah, he's good, but he's a bit sketchy.
Yeah,
he's good, it's always he's good.
Well, he bloody is sketchy, but he's bloody good.
It's always followed by a but therethere's no need for that but to be there at all.
I think that can kind of I don't know.
Earlier, one of our friends messaged us. He's in London, and he was like, I was gonna go down to London today, but I was still at work. I'm so gutted.
The one day.
Imagine the energy there, though.
Yeah.
The energy around Imax at that moment. I bet it was so good.
I don't know, man. So many people. So good. I remember in 2013, I think it was my second parkour trip to London, and I met up with I actually managed to bump into Kai and Flynn Disney and Tom Mackey and Kate McDonnell randomly. It was great because we were just oh my god, look at these people who we watch on the internet.
Seen you on the
I remember going to Imax, and at that point I don't think it had been I might be getting a bit confused with the timeline, but it hadn't been Cap Pas Prix. Kong Prix, whatever. And I remember just going over to it and Kai saying, yeah, me and Phil are thinking about doing it, but it's a bit sketchy. And I was like, fuck me, it's sketchy. And then it will have been literally that year that Kai did it. I think I'm getting my timeline mixed up, but he did it first. And geez,
it was in 2013, wasn't it? Because was it in his 2013 video?
Yeah,
that sounds about right. Yeah,
it's either 2013 or I don't know. I've got 2011 or 2013 in my head. One of those two.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't know. Bloody! But now imagine putting a front flip in the middle of that.
Back then, everyone would have just been they'd have laughed at you, you're joking, mate. That's never gonna happen.
That's the thing, isn't it? Wow. Can you imagine actually I was thinking it through in my head. I watched it so many times. I was like, so you're hitting it, and you look down. You go can you imagine
see the drop?
Oh yeah, it'd be horrible.
All you're looking at is the drop, and then the wall, and then the sky, and then the wall.
Sky, wall, and then as you're trying to spot your landing, there's just that drop looming below you.
Wow.
And I wonder if as well the blue of the walls had something to play on it, because on a sunny day as well, I guess it's just coming back into focus. It'd be redialing in with the sun and stuff.
Yeah, all blur into one.
Oh man, it's just skits. It's just skits.
Wow. But yeah, going back to your point before, I think that is a good point about seeing all the absolute high level stuff being actually, ironically, is putting out all our very, very, very best stuff off-putting to people to get into parkour, not actually to get them in. And so I was thinking about this more, and I was like, I wonder what would happen if like all the big athletes, or if everyone just sent a massive wave of shares for people that are just kind of starting out, and what would happen?
Yeah.
It'd be really interesting. Like people that are literally just in the first cat pass or like the first 180 or something. I saw actually, because you guys are, you have connection with like Pretty Parkour, right?
Yeah, Prim's my girlfriend, so she's actually upstairs at the moment.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. But I noticed that those guys are putting out...
and Hetty's my sister as well. I forgot
about
okay. Sorry, Hetty.
But I love seeing clips from them because it's like it takes a lot of guts to put yourself out there when you're just starting out.
That's it, and that's why they started it. Like they started it because they wanted to sort of show that, like, just show their progression and like how their training's going. They didn't want it to be like, look at us, we're sick. Like they wanted to show all the little bits that have gone into getting themselves to that point, sort of thing, like showing the journey almost, which is really cool.
And so have you guys kind of been mentoring them?
Yeah,
you have mainly, haven't you? To be fair,
it's cool actually. Like we said, we hadn't really done any coaching this year, but I guess with Prim and Hetty starting parkour, we sort of have been coaching them throughout the year. Sort of, it's been quite fun. It's added like a nice dynamic to training, really.
Simplifying spots to enable all types of movement.
Yeah, it's like normally, like say we go out training, we'd be like, right, we want to do maybe this sketchy gap today, but it's like, you've really got to think about what spots you go to so it sort of caters for all abilities, because obviously there's some spots that as a beginner you really don't want to train at because they're just intimidating.
Yeah. It's like, imagine taking a beginner to Imax. I guess they wouldn't have the best of times. Then you take you just wouldn't do that anyway. Like unless you wanted to show off what you can do, you just wouldn't take someone you're coaching as a beginner to Imax like on their first session. In my opinion, I guess people could coach that differently, but
that's the thing. On that trip that I talked about just now, we actually had a bit of the first couple of, we went there for maybe 5 days, I can't remember. But it was one of our first trips to London, and I remember the vibe for the first few days, we were just like, a bit like sullen. Yeah. Because we realised we were nowhere near the level of the stuff that we were seeing. And because we'd only seen those things, we were only seeing those things.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Don't see like everything they're doing between that's built up to that point.
Yeah. So we felt like we had to really change the trip halfway through and think like, what can we do? How can we have fun? Like, and go to slightly different spots. But
we had a similar sort of trip to London when I just started when we went with John. Like, we just went to Imax, did about 3 jumps each. And we were like, nah, this is just all quite scary, really. Yeah. And in the whole time we were there, we hardly did anything, really, did we?
No, not at all, really. No. I think we ended up just drinking in the hostel, to be honest with
you. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But that was equally as fun,
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so when you've been training with the girls, here's an interesting one. When you go to a spot, do you offer them challenges?
Yeah, quite often. Like if you get to a spot and it sort of seems overwhelming to them, we'll be like, right, we'll play a game of say add-on or something. It's like, I'll do a move, you do a move, and then you start building up like longer line sort of challenges from that, and then from that they'll sort of get ideas of what to do. But to be fair, actually, something I've noticed is that training with them, it's massively helped me think about spots in different ways. So there's things that they're sort of coming at it sort of with a lot less experience as to what's done in the parkour world, so they look at it completely differently, and It's sort of like opened up a lot more challenges for us, sort of thing, which is really nice. Let's say like we're equally learning as much as they are.
Yeah,
it's really good.
That's great. That's really good.
I find as well, like we can offer, like you say, like they get to a challenge, and it's, you know, maybe like a bigger than normal running pre for them. Like we as, you know, people who've had a bit more experience can be like, oh, well, we did this as our progression into this challenge, into unlocking this challenge. You know, we maybe stepped on the floor and then jumped back up to the wall, or like, you know, depending on the height variances and stuff. Like, we can offer them like a simplification of the challenge so that they can build up to it, I guess.
Yeah, break it down so it's not like this one massive daunting challenge. It's like lots of little challenges to get to that end result.
Beginners tend to get panicked. They think like they only see the end product. They never see like the process. It's like, I want to get to there. So then they rush into it and they've hurt themselves. But like if you just say to them, well, it's okay to feel a bit scared, like listen to that and find a way to simplify it so it's easier to commit to. So that, because as soon as you have any doubt in your commitment, I guess that's when the injury occurs. So it's like training to be able to commit from a young stage and like, I guess, progress the challenge. I guess, I don't know, like, you know, teach like, maybe if they jump into like a curb, get like from a curb to a curb over a road, you can get them to do like a stride in the middle of the road first so they can build up. And you can just share that with them, because as I said, they just forget sometimes and they just rush into it and then broken arm or broken leg. Or
It's funny that, because parkour is very person-centred, isn't it? It's like...
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not choreography. We're not doing things all together in teams and stuff. It's literally kind of one person doing one thing at a time. So I think it can be very, like you said, it can be very difficult for people that begin, because when they move, it's like the spotlight is now on them. It's not on everyone. It's not on more than one person. Generally, it's like, And so I think you're right about that panic, because it's almost as if, I definitely felt when I first started, like, I need to justify doing this. And so to justify doing it, I have to do something good. In quotes. And that's tricky, because then if you then, it really narrows your potential, because if you're only doing stuff that you think other people validate, then you're missing out. And so but that sounds good that you guys seem to be like a nice unit and like teaching and helping each other.
Yeah. Literally what you said, Prim had exactly those feelings the other day. We went down to Taunton for Wicked JB. It was his birthday. Shout out to Josh. Yeah,
shout out half a long boy.
Yeah, he's
Let's go.
It was his birthday jam. He was injured, but there was like a lot of people out in Taunton, and Prim came down, and sort of we got there, and she was like, we were trying to like help her do some challenges and stuff, but she's like, she just didn't want to train because it was almost just too daunting with so many people there, and it's like doing what I'm doing feels silly. And it's like, even though no one else there would think that, like, it's hard to take that out of your head. So it's like, in order for Prim to actually jump, we had to go over to a different spot with like a smaller group of us, and then just jump around there, and then come back and join up with everyone else again later.
That's it, isn't it? It's like when you're feeling good and when you're training and feeling good about what you're doing, your world becomes so, you become like very involved in the world and your challenge and your mentality.
Yeah.
But if you're starting to think of external things, it can really can freeze you up so bad. So I think, that sounds about right, that you kind of split off and then help someone get into that world by themselves, so they're not worried about external.
Definitely. And it's like people like, see, it's nothing on them because they're incredible athletes, but you turn up at a spot and there's people like Tim Champion and Ed Scott throwing down incredible stuff. It's sort of like even more daunting, because
it feels like you've got to impress someone.
It feels like they're doing this, so it makes what you're doing seem even more insignificant. Nothing on them though, because they're incredible.
Yeah, man. I think one thing that I'm trying in myself that maybe is far too late, but it doesn't matter anyway, because I've got it now, is just I think maybe an antidote to that is playfulness.
Yeah.
Because if you start to mess around and play around with different movements, and just again like get into the world of those challenges and the world of those movements, you get lost in the feeling rather than the perception. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that like makes you feel good and makes you enjoy what you're doing. And so I went to Nova City at the start of the year, and it was just one of the best sessions I've had in ages, because like, you know, I'd not really been to a facility in a while, and I was just so pumped to get out and just train and do some random stuff. And I was just like literally a kid, just rolling around doing stupid shit, and it was just so good. And it really took the pressure off being like, oh my god, I've got to do this big 180, I've got to do that, I've got to do this.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I swear, like the best sessions are always the ones that you go into just
playing about, man.
I'm just here to have fun. And you're with your mate, you see something, and you're like, that's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's do it, and then you try it, and it's just fun.
Yeah, just playing about, innit? It's literally just going out and just being like, oh, don't know what I want to do today. Let's just do some things and just play a bit and see what happens.
Getting into the most childlike state of mind you can.
Yeah. I guess it's the most primitive state of mind you can get into. It's just like, what can I do here to maximise my time? My use of time. It's like, oh, there's a post here, let's swing around it a bit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, that's something that I talked with Flynn on the last podcast, which I think is so valuable. So I'm going to repeat it again. It's like, if you're coaching someone or if you go to a new spot, really pay attention to what draws either their interest or what draws your interest. Because man, it's changed my coaching so much. Like, rather than saying like, okay, we're going to do this today and you have to do this and you have to do it like this. It's like, okay, we're in a new spot. What about that lamppost? Like, what do you think of that? And they're like, And I'll be like, no, I don't really think about anything like that. But that wall, that's interesting. Should we have a look at that? And then like, they're automatically engaged because they're interested. And it's what we do when we go to spots. Like we get drawn towards things, and then we do challenges, you know?
Yeah,
that's true. That is
it makes
very
a lot
true.
of sense, definitely.
It does.
Sense, sort of.
There's no point teaching someone something they don't want to learn, is there?
Yeah.
Like if they're not drawn to the same object as you, then that's obviously not what they want to learn. Teach them something they want to learn. Like parkour's fully adaptable.
Yeah.
I think that's why it's so beautiful, because there is challenges for anyone, no matter what sort of style you want to go into it with. There's a way you can do it, which is cool.
It's a pretty interesting one. I mean, I also skateboard as well, and it's quite hard to like, I guess, parkour you can kind of progress quite quickly because there's not many like variants. It's just like, I say progress quite quickly, you can understand a beginning stage of movements, you know. You can learn like all the basic vaults in probably a day. If you were to really just try and learn the vaults, you could learn them in a day. You could probably get tic-tacs, wall runs, you know, all that sort of stuff in a day. So then it'd be like, with skateboarding, you've got like, lots of other variants, and it's hard to keep the parkour fresh and new when the moves are they're all the same, but then you're just applying them to different spots. It's like with skateboarding, you can do one trick like 6 different ways, 4 different ways, because you've got the 4 different stances, you know? So it's like in parkour, you've only really got 2 different stances. You've got left and right.
Yeah.
Man, so, skating is just beyond me. I like longboarding, but skating is just so hard.
It is. But that's the fun of it. Is like you get frustrated at how hard such a simple thing can be. It's like, I just got to get this piece of wood to do this, and it's like I just can't.
It gets me with skateboarding. It's just how much it hurts when you fall off. Man. They're made of something else.
Yeah, like parkour is so nice.
Like 90% of the time, you're gonna land on your feet, or your feet will hit before anything else does. But in skateboarding, you just hit the concrete like it's a sack of shit, man.
They're just savages, aren't they? We're like civilized, like with our little precise stick precisions. And they're just flopping around, smashing into the concrete,
just flailing like wild salmon.
Yeah, I think any action sport that's got wheels, they're 10 times cooler. Like it's just so much. They're made of something else, man. Yeah, scooters, but they still do take savage bails.
Yeah.
They choose that life, bro.
So, just while I remembered, one of the reasons why I wanted to get you guys on was I think you drew. Well, here we go. You drew my attention with your like little tutorials, like kind of TikTok style tutorials. So
we thought of a great name for them earlier, the TutoREELs. But
Oh.
we never call them that. But from now on, that's what they're being
Up in
called.
our tutorial game.
Yeah.
World exclusive here. You've heard it here first, everyone.
Yeah, next one you see, that's what it's going to be titled.
Sick. Yeah, I really like them because I think you can kind of shit on TikTok and Reels as much as you want, but also so much of people's attention is being drawn there. And so like if you can create something in a different format, I don't think we should rule that out. So I really liked your kind of your dash tutorial. Yeah, tell me.
Manipulating the tools to like sort of what the market actually is. It was actually your idea.
Yeah, man. And I only got the idea because I saw a skateboard one of how to do a kickflip, and I was just like, yo, sent it to Cal straight away pretty much. And I was like, we could do this like for parkour, because like for basic vaults again, it's like similar sort of steps, isn't it? It's like A, B, C, D, you know? So in 15 seconds or however long you get on a reel, it's just like, you can just get all the information across as long as you can, you know, get the wording right and stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's making it a bit humorous so that people will actually want to watch it and
Well,
not just be like, oh, don't want that.
Yeah, make it engaging.
Yeah,
man.
got some good ones planned.
Yeah, tell me, what have you got planned?
We want to do like, we would definitely want to have a go at a climb up one, but we felt like we couldn't after the Parkour Journey's massive climb up tutorial video. We felt like we'd be sort of like, you know, we'd be doing them out of justice, you know, for spending so much time on it.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna stick to like, what was the one we said about the other day?
Oh, I really want to do a speed step one.
The speed step one.
That's got to be done.
And it was, we want to do a bloody 360 precision one, but none of us are really good at 360 precision.
I know,
so that'd be fun.
we have one person.
One good member in Hive.
Incredibly good at 360 precisions. Unfortunately, since we started Hive, he's not trained.
Yeah. Since we started a team to promote ourselves, he just sort of stopped training with us.
Yeah. No, we've seen him every now and again.
Every now and again.
He's still sick at 360,
Yeah.
so we'll just have
Who's
to
that?
drag
Who's
him
that
out.
then?
Guy Costa. Shout out to Guy.
Give him a shout out.
Good old Guy Costa, get him in there.
He's through lockdown. He's just been going out and building bases with his mates.
Yeah,
It's
man.
looked so fun.
Like in
They've built
trees
bases.
and stuff.
They've
yeah.
built like these like 2-story structures out of wood in the forest, and the tarpaulin over the top, places for the hammocks, like benches, fire pits. It looks insane. It's a much
Sounds
better,
fun.
like
That sounds good.
much more productive.
Way less
use
stressful
of
on your
time.
body.
Yeah, 100%.
Damn.
Yeah, that's good fun.
Yeah, you should definitely go for it. Get as many as you can, because like that's the thing. If someone young or a beginner like is scrolling through Reels or TikTok and sees it, you know, they might have a go because they've literally got a free tutorial right there.
Yeah, that's it. And sort of the fact that it's in 15 seconds, it's almost tricking them into thinking it's going to take 15 seconds for them to do.
Yeah.
Because they see the steps and it's like, all I've got to do is that, then that, then that. What you don't see is that it's going to take you maybe 20 attempts at the first step. And it's going to take you a while to build up to that. But it's sort of, once you're locked into the challenge of getting it, then you're already hooked. It's almost tricking people into trying to do it.
I like it. Yeah, because I did actually send a couple of your tutorials to some of my students and my clients.
Oh, sick!
So like
they have done their job, man.
That's it, and that's it. And it's just because it's so. I mean, shouts to Parkour Journeys. I actually do need to watch that full feature length climb up.
It's
video.
a marathon watch, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, is it? Oh yeah, I bet it is. I actually wouldn't mind getting on at some point. It'd be nice to speak to him. But
Liam will definitely be on for this.
Incredible climb-ups, to be fair.
Incredible climb-ups, and also great training discipline, I guess you could say.
Very,
very wise guy. You can get a lot of knowledge from him.
Him and Kieran have been coaching for a
years.
long time.
Yeah,
very long time actually.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's the beauty of what you were doing. It's like, well, I can just ping that off to, you know, one of my students, and it gives them just a little bit to work with. So that's good.
For sure.
Yeah, we need to get back on making them. To be fair.
Yeah, we do.
If you maybe a month or so ago, I injured myself. You started a new job, and we've just not been out training as much. So we've not been actively filming content.
I guess return to normal life or
Yeah.
post lockdown life, I guess you could say, is like actually you've gone from having so much free time and so much time to do what you want to do, and it's like now you've got like no time to do anything. It's like, oh well,
Yeah.
we tried.
But evenings are getting lighter.
Evenings are getting lighter, but the shifts are getting longer.
What are you doing at the moment then? Work-wise?
Oh well, I'm just working in a cafe at the moment.
Yeah.
But I think we're currently in a process of sorting out another thing which I can't really talk too much about because I'm still employed by another company, but makes me sound like some gangster, but I'm really not.
No, that's fine. That's good. Yeah.
But it's something that hasn't actually been announced really in Worcester yet either, so I don't know if I'd actually get into trouble for that.
Oh, interesting.
I doubt it, but if someone clicks on and listens, they might be like, "Oh, you told everyone too early," sort of thing. But
Okay.
Yeah.
but yeah. But we'll soon hopefully be working together in this secret facility thing. So, yeah.
Oh, I see.
Underclothes.
Another world exclusive here.
Another world
that's it.
exclusive. They're all coming out of Worcester, aren't they?
We'd be terrible spies, wouldn't
Yeah, we'd be awful.
Any sort of secret.
Great intelligent cameras, but like
The Worcester spies.
that's what we're here for.
That's sick.
Oh no.
So where do you where were you? So you say you were teaching before. Were you teaching in a facility before? Did you say? I can't remember what you said.
For 2 months we were, but before that it was sort of like at schools, university halls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's crushing. That's crushing to.
Yeah.
Is that like a dead stop now? Is that like a?
We've sort of lost contact with the other guy, so we don't really know sort of
Right.
if he wants to try and start something back up again. I think the general consensus was that if we were going to start coaching again, it'd be under Hive, be like our own thing, wouldn't it? I guess.
Yeah.
But we've still obviously would be keen to get something going again in Worcester. It's just at the moment everything's hard, with lockdown.
Yeah.
Building like the high street in Worcester for one just looks awful nowadays, doesn't it? Like there's shops shutting because there's just no money going into the high
And
street.
they're banning fun.
Yeah.
They're not letting people
Do anything.
skateboard or cycle
Wow.
down
Or
public
feed
areas.
seagulls.
Or feed seagulls.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
Proper clamping down.
Yeah, there's like
that's
£100 fine for skating through the city centre between the hours of 10 and 6.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, innit?
And they can try and catch me, man.
Wow. That's
You
quite-
also
that's-
get £100 fine for intentionally feeding a seagull.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
innit?
intense. That is intense. What, like, even if it's something nutritious, like seeds or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, anything, I guess. I'd like to argue the point and find out, to be fair. Like, play a game like, what can I feed it?
Or just put something on the floor and say, "Oi, seagull, do not eat that." And then when the policeman says something, I told him not to. Like, give him the fine.
It was for the pigeon, mate.
Damn.
Yeah.
So
But
do
yeah, it's
you
ridiculous.
guys travel a lot out of Worcester to train then? Because I've seen clips of you in Bristol, right?
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in Bristol over the summer because everything was in lockdown, but Bristol didn't seem to be in lockdown.
No, Bristol, nothing changed at all.
So you could just go and meet up and just train still and all that sort of jazz. So
God.
it was good
sort
fun.
of like gangs of.
There was like
40
most
people.
throughout the summer, like every weekend there'd be like 40 or 50 people like just training in Bristol. It was
Bloody
mad.
hell.
Because you had the Breach tour, so they stopped through. And then you had like some of the guys from Scotland came down, like Ross Burns, Robbie Griffith, all those guys, Pete McKee.
Mm.
So there was like just constantly just different people in Bristol. So it's only like an hour and a half from us as well. So
Yeah.
Well, from an outside perspective, it seems like literally in the last year or so, it's really, really blossomed, like the community and the
Yeah.
scene.
It's since Philly D moved there.
yeah,
Really.
it is really, yeah. Because before that you had like Dan Glover and Harvey Charlton and a few of the other guys. Obviously there was like Ben Tiley and stuff back in the day, and I think Tom Taylor's originally from around Bristol area, isn't he? Or
Yeah.
he used to train there. So I guess that's like the older scene.
Well,
Then I
Kai,
guess
I
everyone-
remember old clips of Kai there.
Yeah, Kai,
Back in
I
the
don't
day.
know. Isn't Kai like Devon based or like not Devon, Exeter or somewhere like that down south?
I think it's Glastonbury. I think it's from Glastonbury.
Glastonbury,
Ah,
yeah.
mad.
Okay,
Yeah, that's not far from Bristol. at
that's
all.
not far from Bristol at all.
Yeah.
But there was a big community, but then I guess everyone just grew up. and like moved on to other things or moved to different locations,
to-
you know,
yeah.
like I guess it's sort of, from what I've seen, it does go in waves a little bit. It's like one area will be really big for a bit, and then that age group or the wave of people will sort of, you know, move into an adult role in their life of having, like, I don't know, balancing work and play is always hard anyway. And then when you introduce alcohol and all that kind of stuff as well, it becomes even harder to balance it all out. So then you get like another generation pop up somewhere else who are doing all the things that someone else was doing.
Yeah, it's always shifting the hotspots are, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you could actually call them hotspots, because
Yeah.
I'd love to know if in like 5 years' time Bristol would still be, you know, becoming a scene within the UK, or whether it would have just slowed back down again.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah, even like our Yorkshire boy Ben Reddington, he's been down there a few times. I think he
Yeah,
gets
man.
Yeah.
I saw Ben. I stayed with Ben in bloody up Manchester way. I went on a road trip with Harvey and Travis.
Oh, sick, nice.
So Ben's a good guy. Shout out Ben. I hope he recovers soon.
Oh yeah, he's injured.
Mate, I was actually, I don't know if you saw, but one of our guys, Hector, has now done the roof gap that Ben injured himself on.
Oh, I saw
sick.
that. You're calling it the York.
Oh yeah, was that one?
Gentpower, yeah, Gentpower.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Gentpower.
The York manpower.
Mate, it's fucked. It's horrible.
Is it?
It's I feel like anything with a big drop is one of those things that you turn up to in real life, and no matter how scary the clip looks, it is 10 times worse in real life.
It's honestly, it is this, because I've been to Manpower twice, maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
I've not done it yet, but I'm pretty sure it's a very comparable height.
Oh man.
The drop is mad. It's
cool.
it's like a story and a half, maybe. It's ridiculous.
mad.
And
That's
also
insane.
the thing with this one, there's no like cobbles. It's just
Straight
no.
to flat roof.
so it could even be harder than the Manpower. But at the same time, you're not. He did it from running as well. Oh god, he
man,
like got
just
more
so
height
much
off.
unnecessary impact.
Man, I love him so much. He's just mad. He's come from the Canary Islands. Shout out to Hector. He'll be listening to this as well. And,
I listened to your podcast with him the other day, actually.
Oh, sick! Yeah,
I
nice.
very much enjoyed it. I love how much passion he has.
He's
Yeah,
so
it really shines through.
he's brilliant. I love him. Like, and we were kind of like looking at it, and then he was like, "Yep." You know when people do that, like, "Yep."
Yeah. And everyone else just looks up and I'm like,
what? I was like, oh shit, running around trying to find the cameras. And he did it, and he got like proper roof rash, I call it. Like, proper like
grit rash, I call it.
yeah, nice. But he was okay. Like he seemed okay, and it is the largest. He said it's the biggest jump I've ever done.
Bloody hell.
That's cool.
TripAdvisor 5-star review.
But yeah, seeing that, and then also seeing Ben. Oh god, like it's such a horrible setup doing that 180. So
Yeah.
bad. But yeah, boys, if you ever come up, then it's a wonderful spot, and we've been absolutely rinsing it since we found it. We found it in lockdown last year.
Really? Oh, sick.
And it's like the most. It's just such a lovely, enclosed, quiet, easily accessible roof. Oh man, it's so
That's
good.
beautiful.
That sounds nice.
I think
It's
a lot
great.
of people have discovered more rooftop spots during lockdown because it's like you've just had chance to
Apart
go
from
out and
us.
properly explore. No, we found one, but we got banned from posting the clips anyway.
Oh really?
Yeah, man.
It was like a school roof, and
Okay.
it was in a really small town in the middle of nowhere, and sort of someone had seen this clip on Instagram and sent it to the
Headmaster
of the school, and they sort of like started on Connor over Facebook Messenger and said they've contacted the police and everything. And Connor had this big long discussion with this man that it was like sort of like few scroll messages between the two, and the conversation actually finished having it started with him saying, "I'm reporting you to the police, what you've done is completely reckless." It actually ended with him asking Connor to come in and teach classes in the school when they open again.
That is such a win.
Incredible.
Yeah. And even the police person on the phone, I think she was a CSO or something, because the police contacted me. They messaged me on Messenger saying, "Can you please call this number?" So I did anyway, just because I was like, well, I've got nothing to hide. There's no point being an arse about it. I may as well just do it, because I knew that I hadn't done anything wrong. And even she said, "Well, I can pass your number on to the youth group here and the youth." All the places where all the kids go and stuff, and we could maybe put on some parkour sessions or something. So it could have ended in some business, to be fair.
Wow, that's
that
crazy.
Really shows like just the lack of understanding people have for parkour, and as soon as you take some time to explain to them what it's all about and that it's actually a very positive thing, then they are normally on your side and see the good parts of it.
Because that's the thing, I mean, you'd have to be pretty cold. You have to be a pretty cold, boring person to see a roof gap being done or something sick, and not a tiny bit of you being like, "Oh, that's so cool."
Yeah.
Come on, surely there's the child in them somewhere that thinks like, that was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Just
but
thinks back to playing with their action men and making them jump between the bed and the table or something.
It's
Society
in there. It's
drills
in
it
there.
out of you.
It's in there. It's in there.
Society drills it out of you.
Do you think?
Modern society, like the way you're taught to, like, you finish school, you get a job, stay in your job until you're 70, you then retire, you get 11 years of fun, and then you die.
Fun when your body's not ready for the fun anymore.
It's like you get to have fun when you're not ready to have fun, or you're not able to have as much fun as you could have, say, 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Well,
I think you have to make the most out of what you get, but like also try and prioritise time to play. And like even if you are working late, just try and get half hour in, because otherwise you lose the fun in you.
Well, yeah, I mean, to be fair, shout out to everyone grinding full-time jobs who's still training, still enthusiastic, because I am very, very fortunately not really in that position. Like, I'm coaching kind of as my job, as my thing, but it's not super heavy hours and stuff, so I've got plenty of time. That's one of the reasons why I've started this podcast, because I've had time to do it. But yeah, I mean, that life is tough, so much respect for people doing that, like yourself, like you said, you're working at cafe and stuff, and
it's definitely hard. It definitely is. You sort of, they don't sell you this stuff in school. They don't tell you that life is actually going to be really hard. It's more than learning about Shakespeare. It's interesting.
Life is hard, but
also fun. Like, sun makes it good.
You just gotta find the beauty in it yourself.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it sounds like you boys are doing that in your own little ways. So I'm very pleased to see that.
Try our best.
Yeah, and hopefully this podcast and other little things can generate a bit more interest into Worcester and the surrounding areas. It sounds like
just come
good
down.
Fun, man. Come down, do it.
There's places for you to stay, and always good times to be had. Always.
Lots of spots.
Yeah, there's spots that are good if you've not been training them for the past 5 years.
That's the thing with Southerners that I'm trying to like, I'm on my hands and knees saying to them, it's like, please come our way, because there's like a wealth of freshness for you. You've been at Imax your whole life or whatever. Like, there's a wealth of things for you to try, and
we should definitely.
We'll get on a trip up soon.
Trip up
for
north
sure.
this summer.
Yeah, that would be great, man. That'd be great. We've got. I hope that I can seal that deal with a big project that me and Dean are working on, which I'm slowly breadcrumbing out in this podcast to try and generate a bit of interest. But
another world's first.
Like, we're hoping to do something big for the north. So hopefully,
excited, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely keen to get up north. I mean, since you've revamped the York Gents page and sort of sparked life back into that, like, I've been seeing your posts on it and thinking, I do really want to come up north.
Yeah, the spots do look sick.
So you're doing your job, man.
The spots do look sick.
Wicked. And then just on that point, actually, because you mentioned the spots, like, do you think we should be showing off and going into more detail about our spots more than the people, or is it not as simple as that?
I don't know, to be fair. I feel like I feel like the
that's
people is
hard.
maybe more important, because if you're with the right people, you can have fun whatever the spots are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's some places that the spots may be sort of trash, but there's always a good group of people around, so you have a lot of fun at those spots anyway.
Yeah. I'd say someone's less inclined to jump. Say like that, you've made that spot a pile of mud for the day.
Yeah.
I don't think like a beginner would be as inclined to go and jump around in a pile of mud, or like into sand chip or into wood chip. I feel like the spot is important for getting someone started. Especially, it just depends. It depends. I guess the infinite possibilities as to who you could ask that question and they'd all have a different answer. But I'd say for me, it's like I'd say spots more than people. But I know you'd probably say people more than spots.
Yeah.
But I'm just miserable.
Yeah. One is a grumpy old man.
Damn. Maybe a bit of both. Maybe a bit. It's
Yeah,
an
a
interesting
bit of
one, isn't
both.
it? To think about.
Yeah. For sure. I'd say like probably 60% spot, 40% people.
To be fair,
On a good day for me.
I'd say in Malvern we have one of the best spots I've ever trained at.
Which one?
The theatre.
Oh, the theatre spot's quite sick, yeah.
We actually abused that during lockdown. That was so good.
Yeah, we have got some good spots here.
Yeah.
It's just, again, because of our audience isn't as big, I guess you could say, that people don't see them. You know, like Ed Scott's been here, he's done some sick stuff here. Who else has been? Josh, Wicked JB, Liam Ellis from Parkour Journeys, they've all been up as well. And then you've got like Joe Alvey, I don't know if you know of Joe Alvey.
Yeah, rings
He
a
was
bell.
part of
Rings a
Brewman.
bell. Yeah, rings a bell. Yeah.
Really good at dive kongs. Got just the most ridiculous dive kong. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Who else has been? Yeah, we've had quite a few good people come through, and it's, you know, we'd love to get even more people because there's challenges here that I can't do.
yeah, there's some things that we need other people to come and do for us. Like,
Yeah.
That's it. There's
100%.
nothing better, is there, when you see someone?
Yeah. Or it's like something at a spot you've trained at for ages and you've talked about one day possibly
Doing it,
maybe
right.
doing that challenge, and then someone turns up and does it. It's like,
One bang,
Yeah.
perfect stick. You'd be like, oh, I wanted to see that.
I wasn't crazy. It was a thing.
Yeah, man, definitely. Well, I think we'll wrap up there. I mean, that has absolutely flown by.
Yeah, it has that.
Wicked.
Oh man.
Mad. That was a good hour.
But
Yeah.
boys, it was lovely to touch base, and I wish the best for you and your scene. And yeah, hopefully, maybe I can talk to my old uni friend as well and see if I can combine a trip, seeing him, seeing you guys, something like that. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sick,
sweet.
man. Definitely.
Yeah, and we'll vice versa. We'll get up your way too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that'd be great.
We'll come up,
That'd be
up
great.
north.
We need some more long boy communion, you know.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll
That's
start
it.
like an Illuminati style league of long boys.
It'd make a
Where
good
you-
video. I tell you what, it'd make a good video.
It would make a wicked video.
That would be cool. Just anyone over 6 foot is allowed
Yeah.
in the video. Watch the
That'd be
space.
jokes.
Watch the space. Anyway, thank you, boys. Thanks
Awesome,
so much.
Sam.
If you're listening, folks, and you want to check out these guys, check out Hive. If you're on Spotify, look above you, look in the description. If you're on YouTube, look down below. You know where it is. And yeah, if you like the episode, go and follow those guys. Come and follow me. Click follow. Click subscribe. Leave a comment. Whatever. Share it if you enjoyed it. It's all good. I'm so glad I got this one done because I thought if I've got to keep up my streak. I've got to keep up my 4-month
keep it
streak.
going.
So we got it in there. just
It was a
nick of time.
rush, but you squeezed it in.
So yeah,
There you
thank
go.
you, boys. Hopefully see you soon. Much love, and thank you everyone for listening.
Safe.
Big
Peace.
love, man.
Cheers.
All right, there we go.
All right. Nice one.
I think it's all recorded. That absolutely flew, that one.